Greetings, everyone. If you're new to the channel, you will find that over here we are talking about things that are dealing with body, mind, and spirit. Every so often, we veer out and we will touch some current events, but primarily, its focus is really on spirit because when we allow the spirits to lead us, we really can escape a lot of troubles, but it's through the spirit we're enlightened. And so, if you're about enlightenment, if you're about having adult conversations about enlightenment, then this is a place for you. Sometimes folks come and, when they see the candles or see that circle with the salt, it is frightening for a lot of persons because we are afraid of what we don't understand. But for those of you who want it, and have questions, and surprisingly, people do not understand even the basics of what it's like to center themselves in what would be called meditation. It's surprising some of the questions I get asked, but I have to remind myself that it's many, 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 many years of me, walking towards the light. And so, as simple as preparing a candle for altar work, as simple as, getting the right mixtures for bath to protect oneself, is something that a lot of persons don't understand. Now, I want to talk about some of that this morning because a lot of persons want to know. And even people who run away are frightened when they hear these conversations. I more than likely would think that energies, dark energies that are attached to people, do not want them to get the information so that they can be freed. And we are surrounded by matter, dark energies that oftentimes people use in their rituals and their spells to destroy other people's life. Now, you're not seeing my face, but you're hearing my voice. And I am telling you that it's not one or two situations where I have found myself, surrounded by people who try to use negative forces against me. And I am here, I can testify how, as my dream pertains, recently, how I found methods and ways to escape. From I was a little girl, I had these ancestors or these guiding forces that would teach me, would help me to escape. And if truth be known, they have gotten stronger over the years. These protective spirits that whisper and teach me, whether through dream or visions, what's happening in the supernatural realm. So many of us are under attack, but we don't even realize it. And when we do start to figure it out, we have no clue what to do and how to escape it. Now, let me share my story. I kept getting these dreams of being in the same place and watching people taking my clothes out of my house and burying it in their churchyard. I kept saying, and the thing is, I'm seeing faces. I'm seeing individuals doing this thing. And it is frightening, but I do have the tools and the resources to protect myself. Never try to avenge anyone. Never dip your hand in blood. Never do any kind of ritual or spell that is removing something from yourself and sending it back to the sender, as they say. Don't do that. Nothing is nicer than watching you free yourself. Imagine someone have you in some bondage somewhere and you're able to free yourself. You don't run back to the person to go avenge them. No, you escape, you move on, and you wait. Every single person who have put their hand in any negative thing to affect my life, I am watching them and I'm hearing their stories, and it's not pretty, and my hands are clean. Make sure your hands are clean. And if you're doing something, for example, there are many people reach out and talk about relationship situations that they're in, and you can clearly hear them going down that route where they're asking uh, for help to bond or tie people, as they would say. Don't do that. When a love comes natural, you don't have to do anything to make anyone love you. If you're doing something to make someone fall in love with you, that is not love. It's going to be pure misery. The person is going to be with you and can't leave, but they're going to hate on you. Do you understand? And those who would want to do you hurt or seek to do you harm, we can't control their behavior. But once you center yourself in love and in meditation and in prayer, whatever it looks like, whatever form it takes for you, people can try to harm you and they might succeed for a little while, but you will be free. As long as you have a clean heart, a right mind. On my channel, I had some demons hiding. Remember, this is a worldwide web. We don't know who's watching. There are times when people would reach out to me and say, "Oh, I found your channel. I didn't know you had a channel." Because I don't make it a habit of telling friends, or I just don't promote the channel. Because I want it to be authentic. I want it to be like back in the day when I had a Facebook page and I never had any friends. And I would just speak to the universe. And then it comes back to me 5 years, 6 years later, usually on a day when the word that was written 4 or 5 years ago come back and bear witness to me. It is just beautiful. And so when I do these videos and people connect, I appreciate the connection. But in truth, I am putting it out there for it to come back and bear fruit. And in the process of doing that, I make connections with people and it flushes out my enemies. Sometimes people that I don't know are my enemies, but it flushes them out and bring them forward. And it is a beautiful thing. We are light forces surrounded by energy, by vibration, by different frequencies. When we think about physics, for example, understand that physics draw from spirituality, not the other way around. People tend to think that spirituality draws from physics. No, what is spiritual is original, and whatever comes from it. So when you find a great scientist who is able to make a great finding, he or she draws from spirit that comes to that individual and shows them, tell them things that they normally wouldn't know. And if you're a scientist, you're going to get up and check it out. You're going to experiment. So I could be in my kitchen cooking and there's a word that comes to me. I write it down if I'm not in a position to research it. And when I research it, wow, the light goes on. Or I get a remedy. I don't know what this is for. I write it down. I research it. And sometimes as soon as I research it, someone calls me complaining about those symptoms. So, spirit is here to teach and to guide us, but mostly to protect us because we are under attack at all times. And the energies around us, dark matter, energies used in light work is always in our midst. And the people need to be awakened. We just can't keep talking about this little stuff that we hear about in a church every Sunday or Saturday or Friday. It's so much more. It's so much deeper. And the thing is, a lot of these ministers of the Gospels, some of them know the truth, but they're not going to tell you because then you won't need them. Stop questioning who you are. Stop feeling bad about yourself, especially if you find yourself with abilities. You find yourself at the workplace and you are able to do your work so well and people don't like you. Or, you find yourself in a position where you really should be prospering and you're not. And you're saying, what is wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. You're just going through the process, that fire where it's supposed to preserve you, to prepare you for the great work. There are many of you, even someone listening to this video at this time, who is very powerful, but you don't know that yet. And the negative response you get from other people, you're looking at that to say, oh, I'm bad lucky, something is wrong with me. No, the people who are hating on you, they don't know or understand that is the force of nature that surrounds you, that is fortifying you, that is kind of giving them this vibration that makes them want to attack you. It is what you carry. It's like being at that bank and seeing those security guard protecting what is in the bank. And when you go in that bank, it feels intimidating because of what that represents, the spirit that is attached to that place being protected. So you are being protected, and the people who are sometimes your enemy, they're not going to like you. They're feeling that energy field surrounding you. It is very powerful, and it does put people off. People who are not good, that is, because if you're a spirit and you're a good spirit, you're going to be attracted to that spirit. But if you find yourself hating on somebody that you do not know, then you are possessed with some negative energy and it doesn't want to be around those persons. So let me give you an example. When I go out doing these, spirit work, and I meet people and they're telling me stories about how people are attacking them. Oftentimes these person have this aura around them, this light, and I know it's the reason why those persons attack them. First of all, it's not like they're sensing the light. It's just that if you are a negative person, you can't be around positivity. It's going to affect you. So when you look at some people, they're always drawn to the negative stories. They always draw because the energy that they carry draws them to that. And so if you're not popular, don't think that because you're not popular, you're not powerful, that you don't carry something that is very rare. These rare finds are not often advertised. The more you find yourself walking alone, the more likely you are to be bearing fruit and to walk in with spirits that are powerful. So, watch how people deal with you and respond to you. And if they respond to you in a negative way, it's time to leave from around people who don't like you. Especially when you know you are not the kind of person to cause, any kind of problems to other people. If people are just rejecting you for no reason or reasons beyond your understanding, understand it's not what they carry per se, it's what you carry. And what you carry is to be protected. And when they push against what they don't understand, it's sign for you to say, you know what, whatever it is that I'm carrying is causing a problem for these ones, because not because of who you are, but of who they are. So sometimes you want friendship with people, for example, and these ones are not good, and so they create tension between you and them, so that the relationship ends. It's not them doing it, it's a spirit removing you from these ones. Okay. And will then draw you to others who, when you're going through that work, when you're being molded, when you're going through the fire to preserve you for the great work, then you can understand you're like a young plant. And as the young plant grows, it is very fragile, and it needs the protection, and it doesn't need to be around aggressive hands. It needs to be nurtured before it can bear fruit. But while it is a young plant, it is vulnerable for attacks, for insects, for example, for somebody who's careless to just trample over it and break it. Just understand that you're in that infant state. And as you're growing, you're going to get stronger. And it takes a while sometimes for you to figure out who you are and what you're here for. And I'm going to tell you, it is such a beautiful feeling when you start to figure it all out, when it's coming together, because it's going to be a puzzle. And you're going to say, why can't I just be like this one or that one? Why I have to be so weird? You start calling yourself weird because you're different. Different doesn't mean weird. Okay. There are some very powerful people in this world, and many of them are here to teach us and to just be here as a kind of anchor for us, and we give thanks for these ones. When you're walking in truth and light, expect there to be many darkness and many attacks, for the devil or the demon spirits that exist in the world does not like light, and they will do everything to shut off the light. And again, when we talk about darkness, I don't want you to think that the night is something that is negative. When we talk about darkness, and negative in that, negatively charged ions in the body causes tension and rage in persons. So people will just lash out on you or hate you because they themselves have these negative, like I said, charged irons within them that causes them to lash out on somebody who is clean and pure and righteous. And again, we're using the word righteous in a relative way because it means different things to different people. If you're walking the path of righteousness, if your commitment is to live your life a way where you're not hurting anyone, animal or people, then you don't have to worry about people who accuse you of things that you're innocent of, because you're innocent. Your heart is clean. Your action is clean, and I have never put my hand out or say a prayer to cause harm for anyone else. Then you don't have to worry. And whatever gifts you carry and whatever work you will have to do in the future, you don't have to worry about people who hate on you or accuse you falsely. All that doesn't matter. Just know that there's so much more than we are told or that we understand. And if you want to break out of that mold where someone give you their interpretation of, who this universal being is that is in control, because there's not one. We're talking about energies. Never lose sight of that. And the work is done through different mediums. And the universe chooses all of us to fulfill the order. And so, based on your heart or your state of mind, you might find yourself carrying out wicked intentions. Because based on the condition of your heart, you attach energies that are negative to yourself because of your heart and your mind. But if you maintain this clean heart, as a human being, none of us are perfect, but you don't allow negative spirits to attach themselves to you and therefore use you to attack other people. So a lot of persons who come out and attack you, it's not really that individual itself that's doing it. It's the spirit that is attached to them. They're used, but they made themselves available. They become a vessel, a conduit that pulls these negative energy. Because remember, when you're doing good work, the spirits that are negative are going to attack you.